There are places that officially no longer exist. Forgotten roads, abandoned buildings, and train stations erased from maps decades ago. But according to old railway rumours from Eastern Europe, one station still appears on certain rainy nights. A station called Blackwood. It was November 1998. Heavy rain covered the Romanian countryside as an old night train moved through endless forests under a dark sky. Inside carriage number 6, Daniel Harper sat quietly near the window after a long business trip. The train was nearly empty. Only an old woman and a little girl remained inside the carriage. Everything felt normal until the lights flickered and the train slowly began to lose speed. Daniel looked outside, expecting another station, but there was nothing except thick fog and dead trees. Finally, the train stopped beside a small, abandoned platform hidden deep inside the forest. A rusted sign stood beneath the rain. Blackwood Station. Daniel frowned. He had never heard of it before. The old woman suddenly woke up and whispered nervously, "Don't stare outside for too long." Outside, the station looked abandoned and silent. Broken lamps swayed slowly, while rain covered the cracked platform. Then Daniel noticed something strange. Tall, shadowy figures were standing near the trees. The figures remained completely still, watching the train through the fog. The little girl finally spoke softly. Sometimes they wave. Daniel looked confused. What? But you should never wave back. A cold feeling moved through Daniel's chest. Suddenly, 3 slow knocks echoed against the train window. Daniel froze and slowly looked toward the glass. A cold feeling moved through Daniel's chest. Suddenly, 3 slow knocks echoed against the train window. Daniel froze and slowly looked toward the glass. Standing outside in the rain was a tall railway worker wearing an old uniform. His face looked pale, but his eyes were completely black. Slowly, he smiled and pointed toward the train door. Before Daniel could react, the old woman grabbed his arm tightly. "Do not leave this train," she whispered fearfully. "The people outside are not passengers anymore." Suddenly, every light inside the carriage shut off. Darkness filled the train. Then came the sound of footsteps, moving slowly through the cabin. Closer. Closer. Daniel could barely breathe. The footsteps stopped directly behind him. Then the lights came back. The carriage was empty. The old woman was gone. The little girl was gone. Everyone had disappeared. Only Daniel remained alone inside carriage number 6. Then the speaker above crackled with static. Next stop, Blackwood Station. Daniel looked outside in horror. The train had never moved. It was still standing beside the same platform, but now the shadow figures were much closer. Dozens of them stood beneath the rain, staring directly at him. Slowly, the figures began to smile. The next morning, railway workers found the train abandoned deep inside the forest. Every carriage was empty, except carriage number 6. Inside, they found Daniel's suitcase, but Daniel himself was never seen again. According to official records, Blackwood Station had been destroyed in 1962 after a railway accident during a storm. Yet some travellers still claim that on rainy nights, a train sometimes stops at a station that no longer exists, and somewhere in the darkness, Blackwood Station is still waiting for new passengers.